Hi everyone. Okay, so guys, today is our fourth class of BGP, right? Okay. So guys, in previous class, I think we discussed about the TCP connections between the peers, right? In previous class, I told you how basically router establish a TCP connection, right? What is three-way handshake? Yes, we will discuss about the. We already discussed about the TCP, right? Okay, and we already discussed about the how router choose the random port number, right? Basically in TCP connection router use port number 179, okay? But the device which initiate the TCP packet, that device use any random port number, and how that random port number will calculate, we already discussed in our previous video, right? Okay, guys, one more thing. In BGP, there is one small term that is called router ID. I think you guys are already aware about the router ID. We already discussed the same thing in OSPF as well as in EIGRP. You know, na? Okay. In case of BGP, there is also router ID. In case of BGP, there is also router ID. Okay. Now, the first question is how router ID will elect in BGP. How router ID will elect in BGP. So guys, the election criteria is exactly same as OSPF. The election criteria of router ID in BGP is exactly same as a OSPF. The first one is, guys, first of all, router will check the manual configuration. If you manually configured the router ID, that is the best thing. If you do not configure the manual configuration, then router will check the highest loopback IP address. Okay. If there is no loopback IP address, then after router will choose the highest interface IP address. So that is the election criteria for the router ID in BGP and same in OSPF. Getting my point? I hope you guys understand. Clear? Okay. In case of BGP, actually, how can we check the router ID and how router ID will elect? I will show you. See here. For example, again, we have a two router, guys, R6 and R7. Let me check the IP address. So IP interface brief. Yes, IP address is assigned 12.1 and there is one loopback 1.1.1.1. Okay. Conft, how can we configure the BGP? Router BGP 100. After that, you have to write the which command, guys? Neighbor command. So neighbor will be 12.2, 12.0.0.2. After that, you have to write the AS number of your neighbor. So remote, what is the command? Remote AS. After that, you have to write the AS number of your neighbor. So AS number of my neighbor will be 200. So I am writing here neighbor 12.0.0.2 remote AS is 200. Getting my point? Anyone who do not understand? Okay, clear. Exit. So basically, I already told you in case of BGP, we have to define the neighbor manually. Right now, in BGP, everything is unicast. Okay, come on. R7. Here I am configuring router BGP 200. I am writing here neighbor 12.0.0.1. Remote AS will be, guys, 100. Are you getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? Yes. Now, come on, R6. See na, I am getting one notification that neighborship is now up. How can you check? I already told you before sending anything, router establish the TCP connection. In previous class, I already told you. Yes or no? Yes. So how can you check the TCP connection is established between the both neighbors? How can we check? Command is so TCP brief. So see na, this is TCP. I already told you na TCP. TCP is the table where router store the information about TCP sessions, right? That is the local IP address, that is 12.1. Okay, I already told you the router who is initiating the TCP packet, that router use any random port number, right na? So that is the random port number which is used by R6. Clear? Who is the neighbor? 12.0.0.2. Okay, and your destination device use the BGP port number, that is 179. Clear? And what is the state? State is established. It means TCP connection is here established. There is no problem. Are you getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? Yes, na? Okay. Now, so IP BGP summary. I am writing this command. So by the help of this command, even you can check the neighborship. Okay, guys, see there is one line BGP router identifier. So BGP router identifier is exactly same the router ID. What is router ID? What is the router ID by default? R6 select here, guys. 1.1.1.1. Why? Because on R6, because on R6 we already configure on interface that is 12.1 and that is loopback 1.1.1.1. So what is the election criteria for the router ID? First of all, router will check the router ID manually configured or not. So I do not configure manually here. Okay. Then if manually not configured, then router will check the highest loopback. So on this router, there is only one loopback, that is 1.1.1.1. So that's the reason router select the router ID 1.1.1.1. Getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? And this is the local AS number. It means this is the AS number of router number 6. So on router number 6, we configured AS number 100. Are you getting my point, everyone? Okay. What is the neighbor? 12.2. 12.2 is my neighbor. We are running the version number 4. Our neighbor AS number is 200. We sent 5 messages. We received the 5 messages. And this is the uptime. So it means our neighborship is up since 1 minute 26 seconds. And in state, state is nothing. If there is nothing, it means what? It means neighborship is established. If in states there is nothing, it means neighborship is established. How can you check? If you want, you can check in the detail way. So IP BGP neighbor, you can run this command if you want to check the in detail way. See na? See, BGP neighbor is this one, and external link. External link means on R6 we are using AS number 100, AS number 100, but on R7 we are using AS number 200. So both are in different AS, so that's the reason that is called eBGP. So that's the reason there is link is external link. What is the link, guys? External link. So see na, what is the BGP states here? Established. But see na, here states is blank. So that's the reason I told you, if you see state is blank, it means that is established. If you don't believe, you can run this command. So IP BGP neighbor, you guys will find BGP states is established. Getting my point, everyone? Now see here, prefix. Prefix is 0. It means right now I do not advertise anything in the BGP. So that's the reason prefix is 0. It means we are running this command on R6. It means R6 do not receive any prefix from its neighbor 12.2, because on R7 I do not advertise anything in the BGP. So if I do not advertise anything in BGP, then how R6 will get any prefix information? Getting my point? So that's the reason prefix is 0. Clear, everyone? Now I already show you what is the command to check the router ID, guys. Command is show IP BGP summary. See na, what is the BGP identifier? That is 1.1.1.1. Clear, everyone? Any doubt? Okay. Now again, you guys will ask, sir, how can we change the router ID? See, conf t router BGP 100. Here you have to write BGP router ID. Let's suppose I want to write the router ID 3.3.3.3.3. See, are you getting my point, everyone? Now, so TCP brief. I am writing one command, guys. So TCP brief. See here, when I am writing so TCP brief command, I am getting one thing that is called time wait. What is, guys? Here, Sina, there are how many TCP sessions? In your TCP table, there are two TCP sessions. That is established and that is time wait. Now, I hope you guys already understand about the established. Established means TCP connection is established. Both router already exchange the or perform the three-way handshake. So that's the reason TCP connection is established. But there is again one thing, time wait. Now definitely you guys have questions, sir. What do you mean by time wait? Okay, I will explain you what is time wait, how routers select the time wait, getting my point, and in which condition generally you guys will find the time wait condition. Don't worry, I will explain you. Okay, so right now I'm just extra I am running command so IP BGP summary. See na, what is the router ID now? 3.3.3.3. I hope you guys understand how can we change the router ID. Getting my point? Everyone. Anyone who do not understand? Okay, cool. I already written some point about the router ID, guys. Maybe this will help you. The router ID is used to uniquely identify each BGP router. Yes, same we already discussed in the case of OSPF also, guys, right na? So similarly in case of BGP, router ID must be unique because on the basis of router ID your device will identify each and every BGP router on the basis of router ID. If two router have the same router ID, BGP cannot distinguish between them. Getting my point? And which can cause the confusion and generally you are getting the BGP errors. Definitely you guys will get the BGP errors. So see na, during the BGP session setup, router exchange various things. I already told you when we configure the BGP, generally in case when you configure the BGP, so in this case router exchange many information including the router ID, including the router ID. So if router ID are same, BGP sessions may not be established correctly and you guys will get the multiple notification message or notification log. Getting my point? If you don't believe, I can show you. See, on R6, what is the router ID here? 3.3.3.3. Come on, R7. Do so IP BGP summary. So on R7, what is the router ID? 2.2.2.2. Now I am changing the router ID here. Same 3.3.3.3. Then you guys will find multiple notification messages there. See here, the router BGP 200. I am running the command. What is the command to change the router ID, guys? BGP router ID 3.3.3.3. See na, see, you guys will get multiple notification message. So if you read the notification message, you guys will find, see na, your neighbor 12.1 is now down. Your 12.1 neighbor is now down. Are getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? Yes, na. Even see na. So TCP brief. I am running the command. So TCP brief. See na. Nothing is. None of the connection is established condition. Everything is either close or in time wait. Every TCP session is either close or in time wait state. Getting my point? So that's the reason I told you in case of BGP, router ID must be unique. If router ID is not unique, then how router will identify the BGP sessions? And definitely your device never establish a TCP connection. So if your device never establish the TCP connection, then how your device will establish the neighborship and how your device will exchange the prefixes with each other? That is not possible. Getting my point? So that's the reason. Please remember this thing, and this is the troubleshooting steps in BGP. Whenever there is a neighborship between these two pairs, then in this case the router ID must be unique. Are you getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? So how can you change router BGP 200? I am writing here 2.2.2.2. Now you guys will not get the notification message. Even so, TCP brief. See na, TCP connection is now established. And there are multiple time wait. What is time wait? We will discuss it later. Please wait for some time. Okay. I hope you guys understand about the router ID. Clear? Anyone who do not understand? Okay, very cool. So now, now the condition is time wait. Anyone know about the time wait? No. Okay. So guys, tell me one thing. Let's suppose in case of BGP, in case of BGP, when we configure the BGP on two router, what will happen? First of all, both router establish a TCP connection. Yes or no? Yes. When we configure the BGP on two router, first of all, both router establish a TCP connection. How? By the help of three-way handshake. Yes or no? Yes. Now one more thing. These are the basic thing, guys. So if any router wants to establish a TCP connection, router perform the three-way handshake. Now there is one more handshake that is called four-way handshake. What is, guys? Four-way handshake. Generally to terminate a TCP sessions or to terminate a TCP connections, router perform four-way handshake. So please remember there are two, three-way as well as four-way. What do you mean by three-way, guys? At anyone, what do you mean by three-way? See, when two devices communicate over the TCP, they establish a connection using a three-way handshake, that is SYN-ACK or acknowledgement. Yes or no? Everyone. Clear? Now, again, you guys, what do you mean by four-way? To terminate a connection, a four-way handshake is used, or in four-way handshake, router exchange, there are four types of flag bit. First is FIN, second one is acknowledgement, third one is again FIN, and last one is acknowledgement. Are you getting my point? Understand? Yes or no? Yes, na? So to terminate a TCP sessions, router use the four-way handshake. Getting my point? Okay. Now there is one more point. There is one more point. Please read this point, everyone. After a TCP connection closed, let's suppose this is R1 and this is R2. This is R1 and this is R2. Let's suppose this R1 wants to terminate a TCP session. What I am telling, let's suppose this R1 wants to terminate a or close the TCP session. What R1 will do? R1 initiate one TCP packet. R1 initiate one TCP packet, or in this TCP packet, R1 enable the FIN bit. Which bit? FIN bit. FIN means finish. R1 wants to finish the TCP session. So that's the reason R1 enable the FIN bit. This packet will reach on R2. What R2 will do? R2 will generate the again TCP packet. Or in this TCP packet, R2 enable the acknowledgement bit. R2 enable the acknowledgement bit. So this is the acknowledgement of R1 FIN. This is the acknowledgement of R1 FIN because R1 wants to terminate a session with R2. Getting my point? So that's the reason R2 received the TCP packet with FIN bit on. Yes or no? Yes. Now R2 is sending the acknowledgement, and by the help of this acknowledgement, R2 is accepting R1 FIN. Now when this packet will reach on R1, again R1 send the FIN, and again R2 send the acknowledgement. Getting my point? So guys, this is called four-way handshake because how many TCP packet exchange between R1 and R2? Total four. So that's the reason it is called four-way handshake. Clear? Anyone? Now, please read this line, guys. After a TCP connection close, the endpoint, the that initiate the closure by sending the first FIN moves into the time wait state. Please read this line, very important. Guys, let's suppose this is the R1, this is the R2. R1 wants to terminate a session. So definitely R1 generate the TCP packet. Yes or no? Or in this TCP packet, R1 enable which bit? Fin bit on. Okay. So when R1 is sending the packet, अरे R1 send the packet TCP packet, or immediately R1 move this interface in which mode? Time wait state. In which mode, guys? Time wait state. It means again I am telling the device which initiate the which initiate the TCP closure, that device will move the port in which state? Time wait state. Getting my point? This state ensure, and now again maybe your interviewer will ask you generally how why router move any port in time wait state. Any interviewer can ask you the question, why any router or any device move the port in time wait state. What will be your answer? Because this state ensure that all packets related to that TCP connections are properly removed from that TCP table. I told you na, router maintain one TCP table, and in TCP table router install all the TCP connections. Yes or no? Yes na everyone. So router move that interface in time wait state, and in during the time wait state router ensure all the TCP connections is properly removed from the TCP table. Are you getting my point, everyone? Not only this, router also ensure there is no duplicate packet left in this network. Are you getting my point? Related to that TCP connection. So basically, that is the use of time wait state. I hope you guys understand now time wait state. Clear, everyone? Now, recently, one interviewer asked one question related to the time wait state. What is the question? Question was this one. This was the question. Till when router will stay in time wait state? Is there any time frame? Is there any default timer, or is there any time frame till when a router will stay in the time wait state? Getting my point? What will be your answer? Anyone? Yes. Okay. See, this is the answer. Please read. The by default timer for time wait is twice of MSL. Yes, twice of MSL. Now, again, you guys will ask, sir, what is MSL? So, guys, MSL stands for maximum segment lifetime. MSL stands for maximum segment lifetime. So, by default, time wait state timer is 2 times of MSL. 2 times of MSL. Getting my point? Standard duration is 4 minutes. So by default timer is 4 minutes. So it means your TCP connection, or you can say your interface, will be in time wait state till how much time? 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Getting my point? And I told you na, time wait state timer is twice of MSL. It means by default MSL timer is 2 minutes. So that's the reason 2 times of MSL, that is 4 minutes. Are you getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? On Cisco router, there is no direct command to check the time wait timer value itself. Yes, there is no command by which you can check the time wait timer. But there is, in Cisco book, you guys will find the value is generally 2 times of MSL. And generally in on many Cisco routers, by default MSL timer is 2 minutes. So that's the reason time wait timer is 4 minutes. Getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? Okay. Now again you guys have questions, sir. What do you mean by MSL? I know. So what is MSL? See, MSL stands for maximum segment lifetime. MSL stands for maximum segment lifetime. So see na, maximum segment lifetime is a concept in TCP networking that represent maximum time a TCP segment is considered valid traveling through a network. Guys, let's suppose this is the R1 and this is the R2. R1, R2 establish a TCP connection, but definitely there will be a time limitation till when this TCP connection is considered valid. That is called MSL. That is called MSL. What is MSL? MSL is the time frame. What is MSL? MSL is the time frame which is used in the TCP networking, which is used in the TCP networking. And by the help of MSL, by the help of MSL, router establish a TCP connection. So that is TCP connection establishment timer. You can remember like this. Are you getting my point, everyone? It is the key parameter in ensuring that network segment do not interface in the new connection. Are you getting my point? It means during the MSL time, router ensure between the MSL time route, this router number one and router number two never establish another TCP connections. Getting my point? And by default, its timer is 2 minutes. That is 120 seconds. Getting my point, everyone? The MSL define how long TCP segment can stay in the network before it discarded. It means after the MSL time, that is 2 minutes, TCP connection will be discarded. It means after 2 minute router again perform the three-way handshake, guys, to establish a TCP connection. Getting my point? That is called MSL. That is called MSL. Anyone? Anyone who do not understand? Yes. Arey, MSL is nothing. MSL is the timer. What is the what timer? MSL defined the TCP connection timer. Just understand like this. MSL define TCP connection timer. It means, let's suppose by default MSL time is 2 minutes. It means if there are two router or both router establish a TCP connection, it means that TCP connection is valid for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, again router perform the three-way handshake and establish the TCP connection. That is MSL. Yes, MSL is not the rocket science, guys. Okay. Yes. I have one more question. Who can tell me the answer? What are the conditions where we can see time wait? What are the conditions where we see generally time wait? Anyone? No? Okay. Please find. Who can read it? If administrator manually shut down the BGP session, if administrator manually shut down the BGP session, in this case, you guys will find what? Time wait condition. See, I can show you see here. Let's suppose on R7, let me check. So TCP brief. Is there any time wait condition right now? No. There is only one TCP connection that is already established. Yes or no? Yes. See, conf t, I am in router. No. What is the command to reset the? What is the command to reset the BGP sessions? Arey, tell me. Conf t router on R7 we are running router BGP 200. Arey, yes or no? Yes, na? I am writing the command no neighbor, no neighbor. Who is my neighbor? 12.0.0.1. After that I am writing the activate. Now see, so TCP brief. See na? I hope you guys understand. Now state is time wait. So what is the first condition, guys? First condition is when administrator manually shut down the BGP session. So in this case, you guys will find the time wait condition. So this is the second condition. First condition I already told you. When you change the BGP configuration, for example, let's suppose you change the router ID. So generally, when you are changing the router ID, you guys find na what is time wait condition? Yes or no? So what is the first thing? First thing, when you change any BGP configuration, in this case, you will find time wait condition. Second is when you manually shut down the BGP sessions. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Everyone. How can you remove router BGP 200? What is the command? Are tell me. What is the command? Yes. Neighbor. What is the neighbor? 12.0.0.1, and I am activating it. Neighbor 212.0.0.1. This is the command. Activate. Yes. So TCP brief. See na. Now connection is now established. Are tell me yes or no? Understand? So what is the first thing? When administrator manually shut down the BGP session, this is the command to shut down the BGP session. Clear everyone? Yes or no? Okay. When you reset the neighbor, what is the command? Clear IP BGP, and you have to write the this command. Then after you will find what? Yes. Which is state? Time wait state. What is the command, guys? Are tell me what is the command? Clear IP BGP. See na? Clear IP BGP, and you have to write the neighbor IP address 12.0.0.1. So TCP brief. See, are you getting my point? Everyone understand? See, so you have to write this command. Clear? There are multiple conditions generally where you guys will find the time wait condition. See, na network issues. If there is any network issues, then you guys will find the time wait conditions. Are you getting my point? So for example, there is one type of message that is called keep alive message. When router is not receive the keep alive message, are in BGP there are some hold timer. There is some hold timer. So if router will not receive the keep alive message in that time frame, then you guys will find what? Time wait conditions. Getting my point? When you generally reboot the device, so in this case also you guys will find the time wait condition. And I already told you, when you change the BGP configuration, for example, if you change the router ID, if you change any neighbor setting, so in this case you guys will find time wait condition. So there are multiple conditions where you guys will find the time wait condition. So when you find the time wait condition, don't worry about it. I hope you guys have enough knowledge to understand time wait conditions. You guys will find there are multiple scenario where you guys will find the time wait conditions. Getting my point? Everyone, anyone who do not understand? Okay, cool. So guys, this is uh so I already told you multiple things about the TCP connection in BGP. Okay. Yes. Now after that, I told you when there are two devices, when both device establish a TCP connection, then after router start exchanging what? Other types of messages. Other types of messages. What are those other types of messages? So first message is what? Open message. What is the first message, guys? Open message. Okay. So when TCP connection is established between two router, the first message router exchange, that is called open message. So what are the first point? When two BGP routers establish a TCP connection, they exchange BGP open message, and this is the first message. Getting my point? Now, what is the use of open message? So guys, the use of open message is exactly same as the hello messages in IBGP. What is hello messages in IGP? Are tell me in OSPF there is a hello message. Now what is the use of hello message? To establish a neighborship. To establish a neighborship. Similarly, in case of BGP, open message is used to establish a neighborship. But again, you guys will ask, "Yes, sir, but you told in case of BGP, we are performing the static neighborship. Yes or no?" Yes, but in case of OSPF, router exchange the hello packet, and in hello packet there is a neighborship parameter, and when both routers agree on that parameter, then both device will become the neighbor. But here you are telling open message is used to establish a neighborship. This is contradict. Yes, it is contradict. But try to understand like this. In case of BGP, when you write the neighbor command, it means you are manually configuring the neighborship. But neighborship will establish between R1 and R2 when open message exchange, and in open message there are multiple neighborship parameter. When all the parameters are matched, or when both router agree on that parameter, then after your both device will become the neighbor. Getting my point? So that is the use of open message. I hope you guys understand. Okay, there is one more difference. That is the big difference, and this is the interview question, guys. Guys, please remember, in case of either EIGRP or OSPF, yes, there is a hello message, and that hello messages are multicast. Yes or no? Yeah. But here in BGP, I already told you every message is unicast. Okay, so there is one difference. In IGP, that is in OSPF or EIGRP, the hello packets are multicast, but in case of BGP, that is unicast. The second thing, guys, in case of OSPF or EIGRP, what is the use of hello message? There are mainly two uses of hello message. First, to exchange the neighborship parameter. Yes or no? Yes. To exchange the neighborship parameter. Again, the second one is, if you guys remember, I told you in case of OSPF or EIGRP, hello message exchange after every certain period of time. Yes or no? For example, 10 seconds. For example, there are two routers on which OSPF is configured. It means after every 10 seconds, both router exchange the hello messages. Yes or no? Yes. So what is the use of hello messages here? There are two uses. First, to exchange the all the parameters, and second one is it behave like a keep alive message. Yes, it behave like a keep alive messages. Please remember this one. But in case of BGP, open message exchange only one time. Again, I am telling, in case of BGP, open message router exchange the open message only one time. But in case of OSPF or EIGRP, hello messages are exchanged after certain period of time. But in case of BGP, never. But again, you guys will ask, "Yes, sir, but in case of BGP, how routers, is there any different message for keep alive?" Then answer is yes. In case of BGP, we have a different type of messages that is called keep alive message. This is our next message we will discuss. Okay, but in case of BGP, in case of BGP, router exchange the open message only one time. Getting my point? Understand? I hope you guys understand. For keep alive, there is a different message that is called keep alive message. Understand? Okay. And I already told you this message is used to establish a BGP neighborship. Why? Because in open messages, router exchange multiple neighborship parameter, and when all the parameters are agree on, sorry, when both routers are agree on that parameter, then after BGP neighborship will establish. Otherwise, no. Now again, you guys will ask, "Sir, what are the what are the parameters, or what are the content inside the open message?" So guys, there are multiple content. In this message include parameters such as BGP version, yes, AS number, it means router's AS number, okay, hold timer, BGP identifier, that is the BGP router ID. So these are the things you guys will find in B- open messages. Open messages. Are you getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? Yes. Open messages are not exchanged periodically. I already told you router never exchange open message periodically. The open messages are sent only one time at the start of BGP session. When router start the BGP session, it means when you configure the BGP. So after that, both router exchange the TCP packet to establish a TCP connection. So when TCP connection will establish, then after router will exchange the open message, and router will exchange the open messages only one time. Only one time. Are you getting my point, everyone? If parameter in the open message are acceptable to the receiving peer, it respond with the keep alive messages. It means this is the R1 and this is the R2. Are you tell me? This is the R1, this is the R2. R1 send the open, R2 send the open. Okay? R1 send the open. Let's suppose this open packet reach on R2. R2 open that open message are to check all the parameters. So when this router is agree on that parameter, then this router generate the keep alive messages. If this router is not agree on that parameter, then this router generate one notification message and never say will down. Getting my point, everyone? I hope you guys understand. Clear, everyone? See now, if there is an issue with the open message, the receiving device send the notification message, and by the help of notification message, your receiving device is indicating the problem, because in notification message router send the error also, okay, and your session will be terminated. Your session will be terminated. Getting my point? Now, once the open message exchange complete, the BGP session maintained through the keep alive message, which are sent periodically to ensure the connection are still active. For example, router 1 and router 2, both router already exchange the open message. Let's suppose everything is fine, all the parameter is fine. Now, after exchange the hello packet, I already told you open message only exchange only one time. So now both router exchange the keep alive message. And what is the use of keep alive message? We will discuss these things later in detail way. But what is the use of keep alive message? To maintain the session, to maintain the BGP session, because keep alive message router exchange the keep alive message after every some particular period of time. Are tell me after what is the time? 60 seconds. What is the time? 60 second. It means after every 60 second, router exchange the keep alive message. And what is the use of keep alive message? To maintain the BGP sessions. If any device do not receive the keep alive message, if any device do not receive the keep alive message till hold time. What is the hold time? 180 seconds. What is the whole time? 180 seconds. So let's suppose there is one R1 and R2. R1 is sending the keep alive message after every 60 seconds. R2 is also sending the keep alive message after every 60 seconds. For example, anyhow, if any router is not receiving the keep alive message till 180 seconds, then router send the notification message, and by the help of notification message, router is telling the problem, and suddenly router will terminate the session. So that is the use of keep alive messages. Getting my point? Anyone who do not understand? Anyone? Okay, cool. Yes. Now, guys, content in open message we already discussed. See here, BGP version. Generally, you guys will find the BGP version is 4. Now, AS number. It means my AS number. If R1 is sending the hello, sorry, if R1 is sending the open messages, in this case, R1 is telling the on AS number. Okay, whole time. Whole time means router will wait for the keep alive message. It means what is hold time? Hold time is this is the maximum time till when router will wait for the keep alive message. If router will not receive the keep alive message till hold time, then router will decide to break the neighborship. Okay, and what is the by default hold time, guys? 180 seconds. What is 180 second. Okay. Now, what is BGP identifier? BGP identifier means this is the router ID. This is the router ID. Okay. In open message, you guys will find one field that is called type field. Type field means type field tells us about the what is the use of type field. Type field tells us about the type of BGP messages. So by default, for open message type field will be one. One means open message. One means open message. Getting my point? Everyone understand? I hope you guys understand. Clear? Anyone who do not understand? Okay, cool. So guys, basically, this is enough for today. So we will discuss more types of messages like keep alive messages, notifications messages, update messages in our coming video. Okay, I hope you guys understand till now. Thank you very much, guys.